Yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning, one and all my friends over here on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook, and of course my friends over here on Instagram. It's always great to catch up, man. It's Wednesday, baby. It's the best day of the week. I contend. It's hump day, and so it doesn't matter how you start the week. You made it to the middle. You just have to get over the hump and finish strong, right? That's how we do what we do. Always such a pleasure being able to catch up and spend some time with you every week this time. Well, it's kind of a special time of year, right? It's December. It's Wednesday is the last. This is the last Wednesday before Christmas. And December is really a special month for me. It's always been. I would probably argue that's my favorite month in the year. For those of you who know my story, I'm former military. I actually graduated from the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, in England on Friday, December 13th, back in 1985. So yeah, I'm a little bit senior, as it were. But then, so Friday, December 13th, 85 was 12 days before my 21st birthday. So if you're doing the math, yeah, I'm a Christmas baby. I was born on Christmas. So there are these two big events that happened for me, or to me personally, in the month of December. That makes it really special a month for me. Quite frankly, December and the weeks leading up to Christmas Day has an energy that I don't believe exists at any other time of the year. That's probably why they say it's the most wonderful time of the year, right? And during normal times, because we're not living in normal times now, during normal times, the weeks leading up to now will be, your calendar will be jam-packed with, all kinds of events and activities, right? Attending office parties and shopping for presents and, decorating your house and baking cookies and, attending plays and all of that, right? You just probably get tired from just thinking about all of that stuff. But for sure, your calendar would be full. And, thank you all about the experience. Thank you for the birthday wishes. But yeah, our calendars will be full of but our expectations during the season as well would be high, wouldn't it? Um, because because there's just so much fun and energy. Everybody's having a grand time. That's one of the other things I love about Christmas: the energy that comes with Christmas. Then, well, there's a song I wanted to play earlier, but I no longer play songs because some of these channels they don't like it too much, right? They mute out the entire, or at least a good portion of the stream when I play a song. I think they probably realize I can't sing to save my life, and they figure it could never be my song, which, I mean, they're right, I can't sing. But one of my favorite songs for the season of all time is Someday at Christmas. Stephen, I'm not sure who wrote that song actually, but my favorite rendition of that is by Stephen Wonder, and I'll share some of the words with you. It says, "Someday at Christmas, men won't be boys, playing with bombs like kids play with toys. One warm December, our hearts will see a world where men are free. Someday at Christmas, there'll be no wars. When we have learned what Christmas is for, when we have found what life's really worth, there will be peace on earth." That last part gets me right there every single time, man. When we have found what life's really worth, there'll be peace on earth. And the sort of the idea of figuring out what life's really worth perhaps needs an extended conversation with a bottle of two of your favorite brews. So, but it's, I think, something that's worth discussing nonetheless. But this idea of peace on earth, I want to share some thoughts around that. Even as an old soldier, old in literally and figuratively these days, I guess, this idea of peace on earth really strikes me, right? And if you practice a Judeo-Christian faith, you'll know that in the Bible, it talks about on earth peace and goodwill toward men. And so I like Christmas because of that. It's really, I can't think of another time of year where one of the things that we think about is this idea of peace on earth, right? The only other event, so to speak, I can think of that peace is a central theme of it is the Olympic Games that happens every 4 years, or I guess every 2 years now, because they flipped the Winter and the Summer Olympics. But that comes from the tradition of back in ancient Greece when the athletes were traveling to Olympia. Because there are all these warring factions, it was understood that there would be a détente, there would be a cessation of conflict to allow safe passage of the athletes to and from the Olympic Games, right? So yeah, I am, Eglan, good morning to you too, bro. Yeah, this idea of peace on earth really connects with me. It's because it's a phrase that we see and hear everywhere we go around Christmas time. And while many of us are eating and drinking and carrying on, I'm borrowing a line from Cool Runnings, so all you Cool Runnings friends, right? Fans, yeah, eating and drinking and having merriment. The truth is that there are lots of people around the world, year after year, who do not know what peace is, right? It's an elusive idea, right? They're not experiencing peace on earth. Here's an interesting fact that I just kind of read recently, right? In the past 3,400 years, in the past 3,400 years, human beings have been entirely at peace, i.e. no conflict whatsoever, no armed conflict. In 3,400 years, human beings have been entirely at peace for only 268 of those 3,400 years. Can you believe that? Throughout the entire period of recorded human history, we have only been entirely at peace for 8% of the time. And most of the time we've been at war. I guess we haven't really figured out what life's really worth, huh? All right. And you look at today in 2020, right now, at this very moment, there are 11 wars raging around the world. And when I say war, I mean, bigger conflict with, more than 1,000 people being killed. But you can add to that all the other skirmishes and armed conflicts that are taking place outside of those 11, major wars, so to speak. So yeah, peace is something that is eluding us, man, even as we enter this season of peace, as it were. You look, globally at the political situation. There certainly ain't no peace there. Here in America, we have been having a presidential election, seemingly forever. It in some people's mind, that has an end, and so there's a lot of political unease, right? There's a lot of economic pressure. Of course, we're dealing with the effects of COVID-19 and the economic pressure that is bringing to bear on countries and companies and families, individuals alike. Here in America, we talk about food insecurity, around the world. In Northern Africa and Ethiopia, there's a famine on the way because of armed conflict. In Yemen and other parts as well, armed conflict, right? So, yeah, if you look around us, there's tons of example of people who are living in this season without peace, right? And even closer to home in our own lives, none of us are living perfect lives, as it were, right? But even so, there are tons of us who struggle with this idea of finding peace within ourselves, right? We spend our lives regretting our past mistakes or beating ourselves up for those mistakes, or despising ourselves for our perceived weaknesses. And we spend a lot of time worrying about the future, right? That's why part of the reason why so many people find themselves on medication, because there's no peace. And as we struggle to find out what life's really worth, we look for meaning in all the trappings, quote unquote, of success: the house, the car, the relationships, and so on and so forth. And so it's been a struggle, right? As we think about tomorrow, think about the future, and especially again today during these COVID-19 times. And so here we are at the most wonderful time of the year, part of the time of the year that one of the things that we think about is peace. And so I want to encourage you to, kind of, take a deep breath, kind of step back from all the craziness. I know how crazy it can be. And I also recognize, that not necessarily everyone who's watching this now or who may watch it later on celebrate Christmas. But I think whether you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa coming up, I think you can all appreciate this idea of peace, right? Which is what as I say, the reason of for the season, right? We're celebrating the Prince of Peace, right? And so our challenge is to find that peace in our lives. And so three quick things as I wrap up here to hopefully help you to find peace this Christmas. We may not be able to bring peace to everybody around the world, but at least let's start with ourselves. First thing is, try and avoid situations that will rob you of your peace of mind. Usually Christmas is a time when we're around family. Maybe this year might not be that year if we're abiding by the suggestions of the authorities. But usually you have that one uncle or cousin or aunt or whoever who comes over and they just make your life miserable, right? Make you less peaceful. But try nonetheless to avoid those situations that will rob you of your your peace. It could be in the store that you go, and people are going crazy, maybe not wearing a mask or whatnot, right? Really take a deep breath and kind of connect with yourself there. And know, and set some limits. And this is a time of year when, again, people go crazy with trying to buy gifts and please everybody. And you have to remember that, look, there's economic pressure everywhere. So I would strongly suggest that you try not to please everyone. Try not to compete with the Joneses, as it were, and to stay and live within your means, right? Don't put yourself under undue pressure just because this is what you have always done. You have always bought a gift for everybody. This year may not be that year when you do that. And thirdly, there's something that I speak about all the time is, hey, gratitude, man. Find some time to express gratitude. And I get it that maybe you are in a family, or maybe you have a friend who you have lost this year, because of COVID-19. And so now this is someone you normally celebrate Christmas with, and they're not around. I get it. And you're not celebrating and being grateful for the fact that they're not here. What you're being grateful for, what you're identifying are the good times that you were able to share with that person, those special moments, right? As I've said many times, there's always something to be grateful for, no matter how challenging our lives are, or how bad things are at the moment, right? So, yes, peace. It's when I talk about peace on earth, I'm not only talking about the absence of conflict. I'd love for us to get there. It's this, really aspirational goal that I think is worthy of striving for. So it's not just about the absence of conflict or animosity, but hey, just try and, as I said earlier, take a deep breath, man. Try and feel the joy and the tranquility and the richness that exists in the relationships that you have right now. That's important, right? Try and really work on not thinking about all the things that may be lacking in your life or you may have lost, but really focus on what you have going for you. Like the fact that you can breathe, man, the fact that you're alive and you're seeing another Christmas and you are seeing another day, and hence have an opportunity to continue to move your purpose forward, continue to do good for others as well. I think, that will bring peace, at least to yourself. All right. So those are the thoughts I wanted to share. I want to wish you and your family, all the goodness and the blessings and the joy and the happiness that the season brings, right? That I just shared with you my favorite song, and one of my favorite drink is eggnog. So it's not spiked, but feel free to have a glass. Yummy. And if you want to spike it, hey, be my guest, right? That's why you do push-ups as well. It's a little fattening and you're going to eat a lot and drink a lot, but hey, don't forget to do the push-ups afterwards. There's a price to pay for everything. All right. So great to be able to catch up with you again. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa when it comes, and we will catch up after Christmas. I'll be a whole year later the next time you see me. Can you imagine that? But it's all good. Stay blessed.